Welcome back to the Inside the Huddle with Coach Tigh, Compton, Gary Justice, your host. And Coach, episode number 2. Episode 1 was a big hit. Excited about episode 2 as well.
Yeah, we're really excited about it and happy to have this show be a weekly thing throughout the season and happy to get a couple of our guys that are here on tonight with us. So
Yeah,
excited to get going.
the two of these guys, we've talked a little bit about how they can talk to the camera or they can talk to me. So I'm excited to get these guys in the hot seat. But, Coach, before we jump inside the huddle, there's a couple of things here. And you had a very important thing this afternoon. Trunk or treat. So let's talk about Miss Laney. What was she going to as Halloween this year,
Trunk or
Coach?
treat. Yeah, this was my daughter is 2, and this was the first time that she's been able to get out and do the Halloween thing. So she had her first trunk or treat tonight. She is Elsa from Frozen, so she was super excited, and she had a little friend that went with her, and they understand the concept of having the bag and going to ask the people for candy, but they go and ask for to each and every person, even if they don't have candy. So they forced some people to find some candy to put in their bag because they felt bad that they were asking them and they didn't have any. So, but it was a good time. It was fun, and I'm sure that's the first of many this week that we'll attend and be part of.
Well, also, with your dad hat on, so are you going to inspect some of the candy for her, Coach?
Absolutely, yeah. We, that was a discussion with my wife and I. She doesn't do a whole lot of candy at this point in time, but this year will probably be more about her mom and I enjoying the candy.
And also, before we jump into the huddle too, Coach, you and Lisa, your wife, had an opportunity to attend a gala. I was hoping maybe you'd touch on a little bit more about that as well too, Coach.
Yeah, my wife works for the West Care Foundation, and West Care, Kentucky here is a big deal in our area, and they do a ton to promote recovery from alcohol addiction, substance abuse, lots of different areas. They also run the local homeless shelter here in town as well. So it was a fundraiser for them. It was a great event. It was held on campus here at Bears Tower and was really well attended. And I think they had a good amount of success in their fundraising uh, with their fundraising goals. So, it's a thing here in Pikeville where addiction recovery and just job placement and opportunity. A lot of the folks that work through West Care, Kentucky, are folks that have had some sort of history with West Care, and are now giving back and are now trying to help the next group of folks that need help. And, with the homeless shelter here too, a lot of renovations are needed, a lot of upgrades are needed, and a lot of times the funds just maybe not be there for that. So events like that are really important to help, be able to accomplish what they need to accomplish.
Also, Coach, was on the screen too. We had a photo where Miss Laney wanted to get dressed up last night as well. I guess that maybe it was the Elsa
Yeah.
costume, right?
Yeah, she saw her mom put a dress on, so she had to put her Cinderella dress on. She's a young lady with many hats. She can be Cinderella, she can be Elsa, she can be you never know. You never know when you wake up that day what you're in for.
Well, Coach, you've talked about in the past about being some positionless basketball. Maybe she's a positionless dress wearer. I'm not sure what the proper term is
she
there.
she is into a lot, so you never know.
Well, Coach, let's jump inside the huddle. This week, your club was able to see somebody wearing a different uniform and then some action there. And so, really love to hear your takeaways, the positives, and the improvements. So, let's talk about the positives. What did you see from your ball club, Coach?
Yeah, we were stuck in that rut that most teams go through this time of year. We had practiced 20 times against each other, and had been a long time coming before we could see a new opponent. And you just kind of reach a place as a program and as a team that you just get sick of beating each other's head in every single day and competing against each other in practice every single day. So it was really healthy for our guys. It was healthy for our coaches to see someone else and in a game action, and I thought we did well. We weren't really focused on the result, if that mattered. We focused on the process and the things that we have been working on, seeing how those things went. And I thought we had a lot of good and a lot of bad in almost every possession. We did enough to win and play well, but at the same time, we had plenty of opportunity to go back and look at the tape and find improvement areas. And we had a great film session with our guys this week too, and then followed that up with one of our better practices that we've had the entire preseason. So hopefully some of the experiences that we were able to get in gameplay now carry over as we move closer and closer to the season starting.
So, Coach, you have one more scrimmage before you open up the regular season on November the 4th against West Virginia Tech. So, what do you hope will happen in the next scrimmage off this scrimmage, if that makes sense? As
Yeah,
our
for
question.
sure. I think looking at both sides of the ball, we're doing some things that require a lot of work on both ends of the floor. And offensively, we may be a little behind because we've been working so much on our defense, and I think we're looking for a little more execution offensively. And we got a lot of guys that are interchangeable position wise, and they're having to learn a lot of different responsibilities. And while most of our guys have really figured out what their primary position is, we've got a lot of guys that are really struggling to kind of pick up that second or third kind of position within our offense, and that usually just comes with time and more repetition. And we hope to see more execution out of that versus defensively. Um, we want to learn from the mistakes that we made this week, and we want to see fewer and fewer of the same things, and kind of see adjustments and at least a little bit of a different approach. And we're gonna see new things, maybe things this week that didn't pop up in our last scrimmage, or we didn't necessarily have to cross that bridge against our last opponent. And we'll have a handful of things, I'm sure, that we're talking about after this week's scrimmage that we need improvement on before we get to West Virginia Tech. So it's just stacking good days, stacking good possessions, and trying not to make the same mistakes in the same way again.
Well, Coach, you've talked about building your roster, and you have 4 seniors this year who are going to contribute a lot to your ball club. Um, the building blocks, you have 4 freshmen, a very talented freshman class, and Jalen Dyer and Zion Blevins and Aiden Barnett and Jace Copley. Coach, talk about the importance of really building the classes and part of your roster.
Yeah, it's been a really big thing, really, since our senior class were freshmen. We kind of went all in trying to start building some of those classes then, and these guys have seen it all the way through their senior year now. And, you know, in our freshman class, we're lucky to have 3 guys that were here last year and redshirted with us. Zion and Jace had a few games that they were able to play, and Aiden was here all year practicing as well. So those guys are freshmen by stature, I guess, but they've had a full year of college experience, and that helps a ton. All of our freshmen, even including Jalen, have there's an adjustment period. Those other 3 guys, the first year that they were on campus, and really all of our guys over the years that have been on campus for the first time, it's an adjustment. They're coming from a high school level that most of them have been really, really high impact type players, and we recruit them here with the thought that they will be here as well at some point in time. But usually it doesn't start out that way. Usually you have to kind of find another lane and just find what you're most successful at and just hit it wide open and try to find a way to impact winning. And all of those freshmen, I think, have done that so far this preseason. And, we've got a great sophomore class, too. We've got, Riley Salmons is a redshirt sophomore. Peyton Bird is a sophomore. Jalen Rigdon, who played a ton for us last year, was a sophomore. So we've been able to stack really good talent in multiple classes. And if you want to have continuity and you really want to build a program, so to speak, versus just building teams, I think that's really important.
And, Coach, that's how you get that sustained success, right? You've talked about in the past of where the system you run maybe a little bit more complicated, jump from high school to college. And then, of course, the Appalachian Athletic Conference is very a competitive conference. Of course, you're not just playing for the conference title, you're looking at the national title, too, so where you got to be able to step in some big situations, and if you're able to build classes and everybody kind of figures what your role is, by the time they get to their junior and senior year, they're going to be locked in, ready to play.
Sure, and especially for freshmen, it's a lot more outside of just basketball that's different, right? Their whole life has changed. Their location's changed. Responsibility has changed. Their freedom has changed. There's just they've got to learn time management. They've got to learn a routine and discipline and accountability, and it's just an overall life change, different phase of life for them. That sometimes those things off the floor can be a hindrance towards their basketball. Everybody kind of focuses on their growth on the court, but it could just be a tough adjustment being away from home, or it could be a tough adjustment to the way a couple of their classes started out that they weren't necessarily prepared for, or whatever that's slowing them down. So, just trying to find what those struggles are for those new guys, and new transfers are the same. It's just a totally different scenario. Even though they've been to college, this is a totally different scenario than what they were in, and just trying to find where they're struggling the most and trying to give them as much resource and helpful impact as we possibly can to make them comfortable and find ways to get them in a program and get them in academically, just making the impact that we know that they can and think that they can.
Well, Coach, is this my closing question for you? You guys had a very some important visitors here a couple weeks ago, and we'll put it up on the screen here for you guys. You can see the picture. As you call it, ring season, Coach. Talk about the impact of the 24-25 team and what this conference championship mean to you and your program.
Yeah, we've got a lot of those guys back, fortunately, on our team this year, but there were a handful of guys that were able to come back for our ring ceremony and get their championship rings from last year's regular season championship, and it was really nice. Uh, you know, we just wanted to be together one more time. We had a little thing at Buffalo Wild Wings where we just kind of had the whole back room to ourselves and did some catering and some buffet style stuff, and just had the games on TV and just had everybody in the same room again for the last time maybe, and just let everybody kind of enjoy each other's company like we had done so many different times, and that's kind of our style on that. We're low maintenance in that regard. We just want to be together and hang out, and seeing the look on some of those guys' faces when they were finally able to get their ring, and it was special. It was really special. It reminds you why you work so hard for those kind of moments.
Yeah, anytime you get some hardware, it's always a big deal,
Sure,
right? Yeah.
absolutely.
And anytime you put that thing on your ring, on your finger, yeah, well, just it may not be a ball game or a situation, maybe a road trip, as you've talked about in the past. It just memories.
Sure, and we don't buy participation rings here. Like we've got to win something to get one, and it's a big deal, and it's something that we talk about in our program. And I've been lucky enough to be part of 7 ring winning teams, and those guys see those in my office every day. Every recruit that comes through here sees that, and it's something that we talk about, and it's kind of the carrot at the end of the stick, so to speak. So, it makes, again, when you see the look on those guys' faces and the joy that comes with that reward, it reminds you that all the work is worth it, and we don't want to be totally results based and results driven. We want to focus on what gets us there in the process and relationships and those sorts of things. But it does give you a little extra juice there toward the end to know that you're competing for championships, you're competing for trophies and rings and those kinds of things, and gives you something to shoot for on the floor.
Well, Coach, definitely appreciate your time this week of Inside the Huddle with Tigh Compton, and also I'm looking forward to these 2 guys hopping on the screen here. I can't remember who's going first here, but we definitely have these guys. So we appreciate your time this week, Coach, and looking forward to episode number 3 as well.
Yeah, absolutely appreciate it, Gary.
We'll send back for a short break, and we'll have looks like Mr. Keenan Cutlip's going to be first up on Inside the Huddle with Tigh Compton.
Good. First time he's today. Put down 1 bounce. Cutlip drives the paint. A lot of contact, no foul. And he made the shot. 8 for Cutlip. Looney down inside. Now Cutlip for the layup. 10 for Cutlip, first player rebound. He lobs it for Cutlip, who gets it off the glass and good. His second. There's Cutlip. 3 in there, good. 5 threes for Cutlip. He's got 22. Walker. Cutlip's alone. In the air, good. He is white hot tonight. 6 threes for Cutlip. 7 tries. Bears are applying some heat. Playing hard regardless of score. Cutlip shoots another 3 and it's good. Boy, he's feeling it tonight. 7 out of 8 and he's got 28 career high for him.
Welcome back inside the Huddle with Tigh Compton. Our first guest will be Mr. Keenan Cutlip, and Keenan on the screen there. That was a big ball game. 7 threes against Virginia Lynchburg.
That was a fun game for sure.
So how big was the basket looking?
It got bigger as the night went on, for
Yeah.
sure. Because a bunch of those came in the second half, but yeah.
Okay, you showed a little versatility there, going to the bucket and scoring, and a little alley-oop action.
Yeah, I definitely definitely was probably one of my better games, one of my best games.
Well, I tell you, anytime I think he scored 28 that night. Anytime you can score 28 and hit 7 threes on only 9 shots, that's pretty nice night.
It was fantastic. Slept great that night.
Awesome, man. So, Keenan, so let's talk about your the first question I have for you is just your journey to the University of Pikeville. A very historic career for you at Science Hill High School, the Hilltoppers, and I know you finished. I think it's in the top 7 or top 6 in scoring down that way. Talk about your journey to the University of Pikeville. How did you become a Bear?
Well, I mean, I wasn't super heavily recruited at a high school, but I did. My dad was the coach at the high school, and he had came up here for team camp and stuff a bunch when Coach Wells was here. And so when I got to talking to Coach Compton and got to be in touch with that, like I kind of.
Wait, let's put it a little bit closer to your
Oh,
mouth.
sorry.
You're fine. Perfect. Now keep on going. It's perfect.
When I started talking to Coach Compton, I came up here and watched some games and stuff like that. And then when he offered me, I knew by the end of the season that this was a place. Being 2 hours from home, I could go home if I needed to be, but I'm also away from home where I can live life on my own. So that was it. And I got to see the culture here just from the past of winning and everything like that. I knew this was something I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, because you talk about your dad being a coach, and you can tell by your play on the court that you know how to play the game of basketball. You do more than just score the basketball. You can do it at a high rate as well, but you know how to block out. You play really good defense. Growing up, was it tough playing for Dad?
Yeah, it was definitely pretty tough. It was pretty tough. But I mean, you look back on it, you miss it a bunch. But I mean, if you ask him the other things a part of my game, he said I didn't do before. But I'm glad it carried over at least a little bit, and I'm able to do other aspects part of the game.
Well, definitely your growth as a player since enrolling at the University of Pikeville transitioned a little bit, right? Going to the top 5 or 6 scores in Science Hill High School, which is a large high school. Had a lot of great players come through that program. You come here, took more of a defensive role your freshman year, and then your scoring just kept on growing from there. And the third in the team last year and scoring, and I think you're almost 42% from deep from shooting 3 last year too. So definitely the growth of your game. So the question I have for you here, this is now we'll kind of jump out of basketball, then we'll jump back into the second. So, what's your go-to spot on campus? That's what everybody wants to know. What's your go-to spot on campus for a Keenan Cutler?
Definitely the 99. Paul works down there. Paul's always cooking up something good. So the 99 is always the spot.
So, it's for folks maybe at home, and we know what 99 is. So maybe tell everybody what 99 is.
Well, 99's the food spot beneath Bears Tower, which is for the 99 steps that are here on campus. So it's a bunch of kids. You get a meal swipe there every night, or every day. So a bunch of the guys, especially after practice, we'll all go meet up down there. Almost the whole team's down there eating together. So we all just have a good time every night.
Okay, so you say the 99, that's your go-to spot. What are you getting at the 99?
Chicken wrap for sure. They do got the daily specials sometimes. Daily specials sometimes good, but the chicken wrap's my go-to.
So are you getting fries with a chicken wrap?
Fries with it.
So this is a very important question. Are you getting any kind of sauce with the chicken
ranch.
wrap?
I'm putting ranch on it. They got the 99 sauce pretty good too, but I'm usually just dipping it in ranch.
So you're not putting it on, you just want to dip it in,
Yeah,
right?
just dipping it in.
What about fries? Are you dipping the fries in ranch?
Dipping the fries in the ranch too.
Are you a ranch and a ketchup guy as well? Both of them?
I'm just a ranch guy.
So just a ranch guy.
Love some
Okay.
ranch, yeah.
Okay. Awesome, man. Hey, so jumping back into the basketball side of things, you've experienced a lot of success here at the University of Pikeville, playing for Coach Compton and the Bears program. What about a favorite memory, Keenan?
Favorite memory, I would probably say going to Miami, sophomore year. Our Miami trip, that was a national tournament trip. We just had a blast down there. I mean, the team was really close that year. We're really close this year as well, but it was just obviously going to the beach, being in warm weather. Everybody loves that, but just having the plane ride, just figuring stuff out as a team and like playing together, that was pretty fun.
Also, of course, and not only was it a trip to Miami, it was part of, like you're talking about, it was part of the national tournament, right? And I think it's with St. Thomas. Is that where it's St. Thomas? Definitely a big time ball game. And I can't remember. Did the ball game go into overtime? I can't remember if it went over.
No, it was right at the end, right by the buzzer. We lost by 3.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was a close one as well.
Really close.
So what's your expectations for this year? Well, first of all, question, not only expectations, what are you going to do to make your game better this year?
Well, I hope to be able to just lead more. Like I feel like throughout the years I've kind of like tried to grow my game, but I hope to be able to like we got a bunch of new guys, we got a bunch of freshmen who are really good players. So like if I can get in more involved with them and just like encouragement and stuff like that with them, like I think it'll bring us all closer together and help us out as a whole.
So there at the scrimmage today, I saw you doing that. I saw a couple of guys, a situation on defense, or I can't remember exactly what the situation was, but I saw you were doing a little coaching on the floor, a little leading there. I mean, it wasn't in a demonstrative way, but it's definitely trying to help a new teammate out.
Right. Yeah. I just think like I mean, it's one thing to learn from a coach, but if you got your own guys like saying something to you, like that's when you know it's like really bad. So like, yeah, I feel like if you can learn from somebody or just learn from everybody around you is just a really good thing for everybody.
So, Kenny, you can't see this on the screen, but there's a little ticker at the bottom, all the information that you gave me regarding like your favorite class and that type of thing. So tell everybody because there's something, I'm going to a spot here. Tell everybody what your favorite class is on campus.
The legal environment of business. That was my favorite class.
And who is your teacher?
Alex Ward.
Okay. Has Alex ever told you how good of a baseball player he was?
I've heard from Dean Harris, but he won't ever talk about it in class, or he never did when I was in his class.
So when Alex was the last player who played baseball at the University of Pikeville who was named Conference Player of the Year, absolutely, he was one of the best players ever put on the uniform. Absolutely amazing.
I've heard he's pretty good. I've heard he's a pretty solid player.
He could hit it, and he was one of those. He's a two-way guy, but he was so valuable with the bat that Coach Lemaster didn't. I mean, like one year he went. I think he had 3 wins on the mound. He had 3 saves. He hit 480. Had 14 home runs. I mean, he's just the dude can play, man. So having you have him in class, I thought it was kind of neat.
I loved his class. One of my favorite shows is Suits, so I was watching Suits when I was in his class, and it kind of like had me all dialed in.
Now hold on, you wasn't watching Suits while you was in class.
No, I was. It was helping me out.
He was helping
no, not in class.
Okay.
No, outside of class. Yeah.
So then also, of course, at the bottom of the screen, you were also talking about how you want to go into sales. What's kind of generated that interest?
I know there's a bunch of people back home that I know that are in sales, and I think that'd be fun. I think it's fun to just network with people, talk to different people and stuff like that. And I think it also has a little competitive aspect to it. And so once I get out of college playing sports and stuff like that, I think it'd just be something for me. I don't really want to sit behind a desk and not really move a whole lot. Like I want to be involved in things, and so I think that'd just be a way for me to do that.
So being in sales for a long time, I viewed this as through athletics, you learn the competition, you learn also the self-discipline, but also you talked about your leadership on the floor. Okay, so through athletics, you've learned, I feel, through team aspects, you become a helper. And I think through sales, because I know you mentioned medical device or potentially pharmaceutical sales, we become a helper. We may not be, selling directly to the patient, but you're helping the office or the hospital with a device or a medication. So definitely, I can see with your leadership skills and also your personality, you're a helper, that's for sure.
I hope to have some success in that field.
Well, Ken, it was a blast watching you play on the floor. I'm looking forward to watching you play one more year.
Sure, thank you.
We'll send it back for a station for a quick break, and we'll get the point guard in here. We'll put him on the hot seat as well, Mr. Keenan Cutler. Appreciate your time, Ken.
Thank you.
Rigdon.
Beautiful
Oh,
pass.
nice that time by Warwick's. Just shoot the basketball. Stepping into the starting lineup, it's going to be different. 3 for Warwick. Good. Ken has been bashful about shooting it a couple times today, and I mean he's got a bunch. Warwick's Good. With Keith flips it up like that, you never know if he's intending to make the shot or pass it. Stage. 3. Kean Warricks.
As you just saw the highlight film for the point guard, Mr. Kean Warricks. And Kean, we appreciate your time this evening, man.
It's a blessing to be here.
Man, I tell you what, you're a special young man, and I'm gonna be looking forward to this interview all afternoon, to be honest with you.
I appreciate you.
Awesome, man. So, Keenan, a lot of folks in this area, they know you've had a lot of success on the basketball floor, on the high school level, at Chilby Valley, at Pikeville, and you've won a lot of rings. And now here at the University of Pikeville, your senior year. Talk about your journey to the University of Pikeville.
It's been a long journey, but it's been nothing but a blessing to me. Like you said, coming out of high school, had to take that supplementary year. That really helped me out a lot. Transferring to Pikeville, getting over here with Coach Compton and them. This place has been home to me. And the coaches, the hospitality that they've shown, it's been, like I said, it's just been such a blessing to be around them. The culture that they bring to this area, it's a blessing for sure.
Well, definitely, you're fun to watch play the game of basketball. You utilize your quickness. You get your players. You get your teammates involved. Definitely a pass-first point guard who knows how to score the basketball, too. You can score it when you need to. So, but, Keenan, I want to talk to you a little bit about the history of the position that you played. There have been some great people who played point guard for the Bears. You go back to in the 70s, Joey Osborne and Donnie Jones, and you jump up and you have a John Kitchen, and you have a Vance Cooksey, you have a Chris McHenry, you have a Elijah Justice, Josh Whitaker. Now it's Kean Warricks. What's that mean for you to be playing point guard for the University of Pikeville?
Oh, it's awesome. And, a lot of those names that you mentioned, they're very familiar to me. Watched a couple of them growing up. Like you said, Elisha, had the privilege to play under him, so he's been a blessing to me as well. And, you talk about John Kitchen, you look at, like, the assist record, that's kind of people that I want to model my game after. That's something that I've been trying to chase more toward, and it's a blessing to know that I'm trying to follow in their footsteps.
So Kean, you have a lot of wow plays, and in the video, of course, you haven't seen it because you couldn't see it when we had it playing here. But it was a game, going behind the back, and the guy lays it up. But it seemed like you got as excited for your teammate as you do for yourself making the pass. You get as excited for the guy scoring the bucket. Talk about that mentality.
Oh, absolutely. One of the biggest things that I take pride in is getting other players involved. That's something that I've always took pride in. So seeing them guys succeed, that's what really gets me going. The more that they get open or get those opportunities, I know that the more opportunities will come for me as well. But it's not just about, we share, sometimes you, sometimes me, always us. So it's not always going to be about me. It's not always going to be about them. But at the end of the day, if we work together as a team and, really build upon that, that's when our success comes.
So, Kean, one of those things you mentioned that life after basketball, once you get done after graduation, you want to have a career in the financial field, finance. So where does that draw on? What's interested you in the world of finance?
Well, actually, it kind of came within the last year or so. It's always been my dream to coach, and I'm not saying that's something that I won't do. But the more that I get older, I've kind of fell in love with finance-related things and, budgeting. And I've had a couple conversations with a few financial advisors and a couple things like that. And I really like that route, and I think it's something I want to experiment with right now. And like I said, I've always wanted to and dreamed of coaching, so that may be another route that I go down. But as of now, where I'm at right now, I would like to do something finance-related.
So, Kean, you already do a little bit of coaching. Don't you look on some AAU coaching a little bit on during the summers?
Yeah, my brother and I, we actually, about 4 to 5 years ago, we started up an AAU organization. It's called Faith Through Hoops. So we started out with a couple of the younger groups. Last year, we kind of transitioned to a girls' team as well. So that's such a blessing to be able to take those kids to those tournaments and give them an opportunity to go out and showcase what they have, because a lot of the players around this area, they don't have the opportunity to go and showcase their talents. There's not many tournaments, if any, around this area. So being able to go to Louisville, Lexington, Indiana, whatever that may be, just to show that they're good enough to play at those levels, it's a blessing as a coach.
And except now, I guess I think your brother's coaching at Belfry High School this year.
Yes, sir.
He jumped in over to the high school route. So definitely, I know with your ability, your passion for the game, but your passion for people, coaching is going to be right up your alley. And also, you talking about being in the financial realm, or be a certified financial planner, whatever it may be, helping people out. Because I know that you mentioned that one of your favorite classes was going to be money. I think I can't remember exactly what the title of it was, but it's Brenda Maynard and Dr. Kay Webb. First of all, how great is Brenda Maynard? How great is
Oh,
she?
they're both of those individuals they're awesome. Like you said, Brenda Maynard, she's awesome. She's a great professor. She's an even better person. You know, she'll look at me when I go into the business building every day, and she's like, "Hey, Kean, how are you?" So it's a blessing to see her, and the same thing for Dr. Webb. She brings a lot of energy whenever I see her. She's always willing to say what's up, hello, every time you go by her office. So they've been really big blessings in my life.
I think as far as go to restaurant here in Pikeville. So you've been around this area for a while. What's your go to spot?
Honestly, it depends on what day it is. So if it's on a Thursday, I choose Buffalo Wild Wings just because of the BOGO. But any other day, honestly, it's Mr. Gaddy's because I honestly feel like you can get the most food, you get a bang for your buck there. So I honestly enjoy most of the Sundays after church and stuff. We normally go out to eat as a family, and my mom, once it gets to my pick, I always choose Mr. Gaddy. So that's normally my go-to spot.
I like this as far as Buffalo Wild Wing. You're very budget conscious,
Oh,
right? I mean, you get the buy one get one free wings, or now you get pay one price and eat as much as you want to at Getty's.
absolutely.
So what's the move at Getty's? Do you go really really hungry and load up for the entire day, or what's the move?
Oh, I make sure I eat enough for a couple of days. Once that buffalo chicken pizza's out, people behind me, if they want any, I feel sorry for them because I normally take about 6 slices.
So you're starting to box people out so they can't get to the buffet
Try
line. Yeah,
to.
you get a little basketball skill in. So, Ken, this is my closing question for you. Jumping back on the basketball court, how does Ken Works get better this year?
The biggest thing, it's kind of I want to piggyback on what Keenan said a little bit. It's not really about um the vocal leadership, right? So like, coming in, coach always talks about good energy and bad energy and how it has the impact throughout the season and throughout different practices. And some not all days are going to be good, and not all days are going to be bad. And it's what I've been trying to really focus on is just try to keep that good energy even in moments when adversity hit. I always try to stay positive with my teammates. Some people respond differently. Some people need you to go up and tell them like, "Hey man, like I need you to do this, that." Some people you just need to tell them sit in the corner and do your thing. Like I'll get you the ball, but realistically speaking, as a player, I want to make it an effort to get us to Kansas City this year. We fell short freshman year, sophomore year, junior year. We've had the privilege of making the national tournament every year, but we fell short of making it to Kansas City. So as much as I want the national championship, I'd really like to get to Kansas City and see what we can do there, and then we worry about the national championship then.
And you know what the old saying is, you get on the dance floor, anything can happen, right?
That's
I
exactly
mean,
right.
you talk about that supplemental year at Pikeville High School, and led by one of the great point guards to the University of Pikeville, Elisha Justice. You guys went and won the All A state tournament. You and teammate Riley Sammons was on that ball club as well, right?
Yes, sir. That was a very special team. It really was.
So you know what? It wouldn't be too bad if you guys win another ring together, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Kean, definitely, it's been a pleasure watching you. I'm looking forward to watching you as well. We'll get back, Coach Compton, back on for the close with Inside the Huddle. We'll send back for a station quick break. Watching Inside the Huddle with Tigh Compton. Welcome back inside the huddle with Coach Tigh Compton, Gary Justice, the host of the program, and Coach, you talk about two dandies of players there, Kenan Cutlip and Kean Warks.
Yeah, they represent our program in a positive light in all aspects. There's no one on campus that will ever have a bad word to say about either of those two guys. They represent us on the floor. They're two of our hardest workers. two of our more vocal leaders in everything that we do via our program, on and off the floor. If there's something that we need taken care of from a player perspective, or we just need encouragement, or we just need some sort of leadership from those guys, especially on a daily basis in practice, you can count on both of those guys to be there, and they've held that role really for the last couple of years. So, their contributions aren't just stat based. They have a much larger contribution from a leadership perspective each and every day.
So, Coach, as far as this week, what do you want to get out of this week leading up to the regular season start?
Yeah, I think for us, it's just we've got a pretty good grasp of what we're doing, the baseline level of what we're trying to get accomplished, especially here early in the season. I would just like to see us become a little more fluid, both offensively and defensively, and start reacting a little bit. We talked about the execution piece offensively, getting guys to learn maybe a couple more spots, or become a little more comfortable in a couple more spots, so they aren't just locked into playing one position. But defensively, we talk a lot about right now. I think we're out there playing defense, and at some point in time, we need to be able to try to start making plays. And up to this point, with a lot of the newness, our minds are slowing our feet down a little bit, and you can kind of see that through some of the decision making processes that our guys go through, and they're unsure whether they're trying to what to do at some points, but they're also worried about screwing it up and not doing it right, and just trying to get them to commit right or wrong, but commit fully to it and do it with everything that they've got, and then let us correct it via tape has been a process trying to get them all to do that, but I think we're getting closer.
Well, definitely. I'm excited to see how this week goes, and also our visit will be next week. But my impressions from watching some of that scrimmage, Coach, you're extremely athletic. There's a lot of guys 6'5" to 6'8" who can make a lot of good plays. So definitely very excited for Bears basketball this year as well.
We set out to become more positionless and more versatile, and I think we've done so. We've got a lot longer, a lot more athletic, without losing much skill, and we're excited to see where this year takes us. I think our depth should be an advantage for us. So we'll see in a couple of weeks.
Well, Coach, definitely appreciate your time. This will wrap things up for Inside the Huddle with Coach Tigh, Compton, Gary Justice signing off. Please remember, you're going to be a Bear, be a Grizzly.